Utah State is playing really well and doing a nice job. A similar opponent so far in the University of Utah. The games were very, very close, so I think if you looked at what the matchup looks like, it should be an exciting game. I think our team made some progress in some areas against Middle Tennessee. I thought we protected our quarterback and threw the ball better. I actually thought our special teams in general played better. We had some ball security issues, which would be the main negative of the game. But I still thought it was progress, and looking forward to improving our team and playing again. So I'll answer questions, if there are any.
JD's game was an adventure. Are you going to stick with him as a punt returner? And then secondly, can you just talk about what he's meant to the program, being a Cache Valley kid and kind of going home this week?
Yeah, certainly we're going to stick with him. JD's body of work overshadows one game that he actually scored a touchdown in, and so I like him being aggressive, and sometimes boundaries are set when you push the envelope as far as he did, but I have no issues in terms of confidence with him. He's really good. And as far as what he's done to the program, he tries really, really hard, and he's been really productive. And he's a team captain, which all starting as a walk-on is a pretty nice story.
Are you expecting to have Jamal Williams this week?
Mm-hmm. Yep, Jamal practiced today, so that was really positive.
Coach, what's your relationship with Coach Wells, if at all?
We know him through mutual friends, really. Coach Weber, who used to be on our staff, was friends with Matt, and then a few other coaches that I've worked with. I had worked with Matt when he was at New Mexico after I left. And then we've spoken on the phone just a few times when Matt got the job, and he was considering hiring different staff members, so we kind of communicated that.
You had come into this program as the head coach when it was down a little. Coach Wells comes into a really different situation. When you were a younger coach, had you given much thought to what you would prefer to step into?
No, I hadn't given thought to really being a head coach, and I had to kind of make it up on the run. But I don't know what Matt's choice has been, if he's always aspired to be a head coach or not, but he's earned the chance through the kind of offenses he's had, so it's fun to see someone else get a chance.
Do you sense the guys getting as up for this game as they do for Utah? Is the rivalry on the same level?
It's a different kind of rivalry, and I'm not saying it's better or worse, but it's just different, and I think it should be. Different teams, a little bit more distance, but still, I think a great game, and it has been the past number of years. It's gone right down to the end.
Bronco, to take that a step further, in this era of independence and playing teams that you don't have familiarity with or history with, how does it change when you are playing not just a rival, but a team that you do have a lot of history with?
I think your starting point in the week is just different. You might be a day ahead, but they'll be a day ahead as well because of that familiarity. And so you don't have as many personnel questions. You really don't have as many scheme questions. But you do have to execute. You do have to design things that might be more successful than they were last time. So I think just in general, both teams start a little bit ahead.
Has their success made it harder to recruit against them in-state?
I haven't noticed it whatsoever. Our pool has been pretty much unchanging. If anything, I'm talking locally, and then it's really expanding out of state. So I haven't noticed it.
The last time that you guys were in Logan, that game kind of changed the course of the program. That was right after you decided to take over as the DC. What do you remember from that game, and kind of what changed with this program after that game?
I don't remember much about that game. I remember talking to Gary Anderson after. He waited for a long time to visit with me after the media stuff, and so it was fun to congratulate him and wish him a success and see their program take a positive turn. And then I knew there were some tough decisions I had to make. I don't remember the game as much as just that conversation afterwards.
Do you anticipate having Tyler Beck for this game?
I do. Didn't practice today. I'm not sure he'll go tomorrow, but possibly the next day. We moved Manoa Pakula back to inside linebacker for this week as a contingency.
Can you talk about the job Austin Jorges has done filling in and just kind of being there?
He's done a great job. And his production shows that, and he's trustworthy, and he's really earned it. He's had a long journey, but I'm happy for him.
Where does Chucky put a lot of pressure on the defense?
Well, I think just mobility. It's really hard to get on the ground, and then he can extend plays for a long time. And if your coverage happens to hold, then he's a scramble threat. And so, I'm not sure how many times we've played against him, but it seems like he's been there a long time.
If Adam Hine can't return kicks because he's day-to-day, Would it be Lasike, how you showed the other day?
Lasike will be on one side, and then we're checking on who might be the other one. Not sure yet.
What have you
Possibly-
noticed in the production of Chucky over the last 3 years? Like you said, you've seen him for a while now.
Oh, I think he's been productive all 3 years. I think just probably decision-making and maturity just shows the last two. Last year in particular, just more poised and makes better decisions.
Can you comment on the guys you're specifically considering for kickoff in place of Pete?
You know, the pool's probably too big, maybe tomorrow or maybe the next day. But pool's still a little bit too big to narrow it down.
Coach Aljon Brown had a pretty good fourth quarter. Talk about him, and maybe will he have a chance to maybe see some more playing time?
Yeah, I think he did a really nice job. He ran physical, and he ran tough, and he secured the ball. That combination will get him consideration, and so possibly could get a larger role in backing up Jamal.
You guys announced a few months ago that you're going home and home with them instead of the 2-for-1. Was that kind of done over your...
Man,
what's the
I'd
word?
forgotten, to be honest with you. And don't remember if I signed off or didn't sign off. But, yeah, so I'll take your word for that one. I don't remember.
Bronco, Chucky gets a lot of attention, rightfully so, but what else is their offense? What else do they have offensively? As far
Oh,
as
just a lot of diversity, a lot of different types of plays, a lot of perimeter plays, and then some unique and challenging kind of concentration type plays, and in the blue zone there's some gadgets, and so it's not a surprise they're scoring quite a few points. You really have to concentrate well.
What's the mentality when you go up against a team that knows you as well as they do, as far as, is it just make sure your scheme's sound, or do you try and throw some wrinkles out?
My philosophy never has been so much about designing new things as just execution, and so that's from a baseline.
The false starts were an issue against Middle Tennessee, and they probably will be in a raucous crowd at Romney. Is that anything you can do this week?
I hope. I think we've had too many already this year, and so we're focusing on it. But yeah, more hostile crowd, louder crowd, that certainly will have an influence.
You talked about turnovers after the game. More drills today regarding that.
It starts every practice since Coach and I has taken over. Starts with ball security. So, man, we don't practice until we do that, and that's we'll continue to do that. We need a little more work, it looks like, especially as some of the ball carriers changed with Jamal not touching it as much and Cody not touching it as much. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Coach.